Hello and welcome back everybody to Seduce Me, the Otome. So, I checked the last recording and I think the voices are pretty okay. Like, volume-wise. As mentioned, I like the voice actors, but volume-wise, I think it's okay. You can hear them pretty good. Even though I'm louder, no doubt about it. But I guess it's good enough. So, and also, if I turn up the volume of the voice actors now and the boys come in and the boys are really much louder than the girls, then we have a problem. Like, everybody's ears explode or something like that. So, let's go. Where did we need to go? To the principal or something? I don't really remember. But somewhere where we are probably in trouble. Funny enough, something did happen. And it was certainly no laughing matter. Cold. It was really cold. Oh God, don't tell me somebody died. Of course somebody died. Why wouldn't there be a church bell ringing if nobody died? The rain became heavier that afternoon, accompanied by rolling thunder now and then. The skies had turned dark, though I couldn't see any of it under the black umbrella. Not that I was looking up. In fact, looking up was the exact opposite of what I wanted to do. I stared at the grass beneath my feet, unable to look up at the people weeping around me. All I could see was the damp grass underneath my feet. Only the monotone eulogies that floated through my ears reminded me that I was at a funeral. It was only when the speeches ended that I finally was able to raise my hat. Harold Anderson, forever in our hearts. A small gathering of people, mostly made of relatives that I didn't even know were related to me, were huddled around a simple, small grave. For a while, all I heard was the sound of raindrops on umbrellas. If it weren't raining, everything would probably be in a heavy silence. I looked beside me, where my father was standing, and holding up a large black umbrella for our small family of 3. His face was emotionless, a strange sight next to my weeping mother. I wondered what was going through his mind. After all, etched into the smooth grey tombstone before us was his father's name. My grandfather, the one who raised me like his own daughter, had passed away that day. The ceremony was small. Only close family were allowed to come. This is a strange way to start out a dating sim, if I may say so. Slowly, though, people began to leave, leaving my father, mother, and me behind at the grave. A man dressed in a clean black suit under the uniform black umbrella of the funeral's attendees walked towards us, introducing himself as grandfather's lawyer. He pulled out a few documents from his suitcase and began to read aloud its contents.
And now, I shall read Harold Anderson's last will and testament.
You do that at the grave? That is pretty unusual.
Only my parents and I were allowed to be present for my grandfather's will. It was under the strict request of his lawyer, and there was a reason why. And to my dearest granddaughter, I give my estate. All the furniture and decor that resides within the house shall also be given to my granddaughter.
What? I couldn't believe my ears. I had earned the family estate? At 18? That was impossible, and yet it was written by my own grandfather's hand. Yeah, that seems rather odd.
He passed the family estate to her? Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, you already look like an asshole. I wouldn't give you anything if I died.
Dear.
Well, did he say anything about what will become of the CEO and chairman position of the Anderson Toys Company?
No. It is presumed that the vice chairman will succeed the position.
Even to the bitter end he wouldn't give in. Oh, what a stubborn old man.
Shaking his head, my father turned to face my mother with a serious expression on his face.
About the estate. Should we send her there to get used to the building? It'll be a good place for her to live after high school.
Are you sure we should?
Oh God. Yeah, and my Jesus, I'm an idiot. Of course. His estate is his place where he lived. Not the company. Oh god, English, you screwed me over once again. So estate is probably like a word for mansion and everything that is around the mansion, like parks and I don't know stuff, probably like that. That would make sense, because I don't know what that is in English, so it's probably estate.
Why not? This would be a good experience for her.
Yeah, you sound like you have only the best intentions for me, personally. Estefania, your beloved daughter.
Honey, what do you think?
I really wasn't sure what to say. Why did my grandfather think that I was the appropriate heir to the mansion? So it is the mansion. Was I even ready to live on my own?
Well, that seems to be it. We'll be taking our leave now. I'm sure the little heiress needs some time to adjust.
Oh, I'm going to adjust my foot right up your ass, man, if you're going to go on like that.
David!
What the fuck is wrong with this, man? Like, what even? I mean, okay. But still his daughter. Like, what even? Okay, he doesn't get the mansion, too bad. But, you know, it's his daughter. I guess. At least, according to German law, that probably wouldn't work. Like, the grandfather probably had to give something to his son. In German law, you can't give all of everything just to someone else. If you have, like, closer related people. But still, I mean, it's his daughter. I mean, what even? Even though she raised her voice, my dad wordlessly began walking back to the car, disinterested.
Don't mind him, honey. I think that your grandfather's passing really affected him.
I don't think so.
Why don't we get back home for now?
You can go on ahead to the car, Mom. I think I need some time alone with Grandpa.
Oh, of course. Take all the time you need.
She gave me a quick hug and hurried after my dad. I looked around the funeral grounds, which was completely empty, save for the sullen-looking grave that was laid in front of me. I'm sure that if Grandpa were in charge of arranging all of this, it would have been much different. It was blatantly obvious that my dad was in charge of the whole event. Who else would bury their own family the same day they pass away? It's the same day? What? Oh my god. Everyone knew my grandfather's love for toys, and yet the grave was a mere stone slab on the ground, void of any children's toys. My dad didn't even bother putting flowers. His disdain for my grandfather was almost pitiful. Sorry, Grandpa. I tried to force out some words, but the only thing that came out was a choked sob. You told me to stay strong, but right now, I'm the farthest from it. Like that one time, a long time ago. Flashback. Grandpa!
Oh, it's so good to see you again, sweetie.
I was swept into a giant bear hug, and we both laughed as he swung me around like an airplane. It was one of my favorite things about seeing my grandfather. The way he greeted me, unlike my father. My grandfather was loving and playful, even as I grew older. Sorry that Dad couldn't be here today. He said that he wasn't feeling too good again. It had always been like that. Dad missed every visit to Grandpa's house, citing that he was busy with work or wasn't feeling well.
Is that so? Well, that's okay. Daddy can come around next time. And you're here, right?
I wonder if there was some kind of fallout between these two, or if the dad is just an asshole. Probably the father wasn't like a good father or something. Like Grandpa was consumed in work and never cared enough for his son, or something like that. Usually, something like this happens not without a reason. Yeah. So what are we doing today, Grandpa? Mommy says that there's a new dessert cafe open in town. Maybe we could go.
Oh, I would love to. But I've been so busy with the company these days. We're actually working on a little something. Would you like to see?
Yeah. Oh, is that a tie?
It is. I was designing a new line of them. But I feel like something's missing. You don't think you could help me out, could you?
Of course. He placed the toy in my hands with a smile, and I inspected it carefully. It was beautifully crafted, and obviously a lot of work was put into it. There was one thing, though.
So, what do you think?
I think the heart on its chest should light up when you hug it. It'll be like it's alive, and it can be like a little nightlight before you sleep. I hated stuff like that. On the other hand, I was a boy. So like stuff hugging, I was more like taking two knights and clashing them together. That was my way of playing. I had like 2 castles, and I have a very, very small room. Like very, very, very small. Like 6 square meters or something. And I would put one castle on the bed and one on the floor. And then I sat down and basically the whole room was already filled with stuff. And then the knights on the floor would try to conquer the castle on the bed. Yeah, that was what I used to do. I don't know, that has probably nothing to do with this year. He stroked his chin, considering my input while nodding his head. After a few moments of silent deliberation, he turned to me with a chuckle.
That's a great idea. I'll get to changing it right away. You're always like my little lucky charm, dear. You always know what to add to make the perfect toy.
Children's laughter.
Well, I hope I can be like you one day, Grandpa.
You want to make toys as well?
Well, making people happy is the best feeling in the world. I don't know if I want to make toys when I grow up, though.
Don't worry too much about it. You have plenty of time to decide. Besides, you should do what makes you happy as well.
That makes sense. Daddy doesn't think of it the same way, though.
Your father. I'm sure he just wants the best for you.
I'm not too sure. He's like greedy of your mansion now that I got it, but okay.
I'm not so sure about that.
Sweetie, look at me.
He bent down to look at my eye level, with a serious look on his face.
As much as your father may say something that doesn't make sense now, you must remember that he's always thinking about you. He loves you. There's no doubt about that. And you need to love him just as equally.
I don't hate Daddy. I really do love him. I don't know why he's like this, though.
Your father and I have had some difficulties with each other in the past. But it's nothing that you should be concerned about.
True that. Why is he an asshole to me if you were an asshole to him? Like, that's not okay. I had heard tidbits of this from my mother and various other people. The only people who had stayed quiet were my father and grandfather. Both of them refrained from saying a word on the subject matter, but it was clear that whatever happened set up a wall between them. It's hard, though, trying to pretend as if nothing were wrong.
However, no matter what, you have to stay strong. You're a big girl already, and, well, there'll come a day when it seems like it's you against the world. But always remember that your family and friends will be here with you. Daddy, Mommy, your friends at school, me. We'll stand together to get through it.
How can you be so sure of that?
Because we'll be right here and here.
He pointed his finger to my head first and then pointed at my chest. I hate shit like that. And now she'll go back to the grave and go back to the real world and then... Don't make me sad, game. I hate shit like that. The music is good too. God damn it.
So stay strong. Promise?
For a moment he looked almost sad, pleading, but as quickly as it had come the expression disappeared from his face, and he was all smiles once again. Promise! Upon hearing that, Grandpa let out a great burst of laughter and stood up.
All right then. Enough of that. How about I whip up some special homemade dessert? I know I can't accompany you at that new cafe, but we sure can talk and eat while I cook and do some paperwork.
Homemade dessert? I'll race you to the kitchen.
Hey, slow down there. I'm not what I used to be.
You willed me the very home I love to see you in. Why? Why would you think I would be ready to take it? Especially after this. A surge of anger bubbled within me, but I quickly swallowed it. There was no use in getting mad, especially when the person in question was no longer there.
She's pretty composed though. She's not as emotional as me, let me tell you. Like, nothing worse than funerals in the world. Like, nothing worse, in my opinion. God damn it, I hate that shit. I'm sorry. It's hard to stay calm when you've left with so many questions. Especially about what happened between you and Dad. What am I doing? Talking to a grave. My vision blurred, and I suddenly realized that I was crying. My face heated up as tears rolled down my cheeks. I'll bring you some flowers later. I miss you, Grandpa. I tried my best to fulfill my promise I gave to you, even if the world might be turned against me. I left the grave, wiping my tears hastily so my parents wouldn't see.
Well, it's time to head back home. I'll cook up your favorite lasagna when we get home, okay?
What kind of parents are there that are not okay with the children's crying when their grandpa's dead? I mean, okay, the father, obviously we know the father's fucked up, but the mother? God damn it. Okay, gotta say, the game is good. The game is good. Like the music and the scenery and the text, everything got me by the balls, man. Thanks, Mom. However, my dad didn't speak at the entire drive home. I wanted to talk to him, but after his moment at the funeral, I wasn't sure if that was a good idea.
It's about time we took off those dreary black clothes.
You're not even in black. Were you in black before? I'm pretty sure you weren't. Well, I don't know, to be honest. Gathering my courage, I decided then that it was time to talk. Dad, could I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Why do you want me to move into the estate so soon?
I thought I made that rather clear. The college near your grandfather's house is well known for its business program. You are planning to major in business, yes?
Wow, judging by the way you question me, I'm probably not.
Right after you graduate from high school, you'll just live there and can easily commute to and from school. It's a perfect fit for you.
But it's so sudden. You just decided so quickly, right after the funeral.
Don't be so sensitive. If you're like that in the real world, you'll be crushed.
I'm just saying that maybe we could talk a bit more about my future. In reply, my father rubbed his temples and sighed quietly.
After you graduate from college, you'll work at Anderson Family Toys. I have connections since I am part of the board of directors, so you will be guaranteed a spot. That is what we talked about before, yes?
So you are part of the company, but probably you're more in a, not creating, but more like in an economic part, or a lawyer part, or I don't know, something like that. But what if...
Stop mumbling!
But what if I don't want to work there?
Don't be silly. It's the family company. Our company. I'm not just going to hand it over to some incompetent vice chairman.
He came closer to me and his face softened.
Look, this is all for the best, okay? You may not know it right now, but you will appreciate it later.
Oh. Okay, theory. Grandpa forced father into the position in the company that he is now. And therefore, father acts like grandpa did to him in the past. Only a theory, but it would make sense. For some reason, when I heard him say that, something snapped in me. I wasn't exactly sure what it was, but it made me feel so angry. It's because your grandfather told you that and stuff, but, you know, if you don't know it, I saw your flashback and, yeah, well. Do you even care that grandfather passed away?
Of course I do.
Well, everything seems fine and dandy to you. Things couldn't be better.
Excuse me? I don't like your tone, young lady.
Well, I don't like you, motherfucker. Is it even... Oh, God. Is it like even swearing at your father when you say motherfucker? Like, you probably get the idea. I'm such an idiot. It's like nothing ever happened at all. Like you just ignored the fact that he's no longer here.
Do not raise your voice at me.
What did he ever do to you to deserve this? My father, his face hardened, crossed his arms, and erupted in angry laughter.
Ha! You sure place him upon a pedestal, like he's some kind of venerated god or something. It makes me sick.
Is that it? Are you happy seeing Grandfather dead? While everyone was grieving, were you holding yourself back from laughing in everyone's faces? Did you feel just a bit happier seeing him lie in the graveyard? Now he's going to slap her. Yeah! Okay, that's probably not even good to say to an asshole father, I suppose. A flash of rage crossed his face, and he whipped the back of his hand across my cheek.
You don't know anything! Running your mouth like somehow you know everything that went on, when you're just a little girl that doesn't know how to keep her mouth shut! You did not know my father! You did not know what he was capable of!
Is everything all right? What happened?
How the hell did she not realize what happened? Do they live in a giant castle? Nothing. I'm not hungry. I think I'll just go upstairs.
Honey, wait!
I quickly turned and ran up the stairs to my room, slamming the door behind me. My breath came in short pants, and for a while I just leaned against the door to my bedroom, eventually sliding down to sit against it. How did things become like this? My cheek still throbbed, and I tentatively stood up and looked at the mirror to see how it looked. Hopefully it doesn't bruise. What am I saying? Tears formed in the corners of my eyes, but I blinked them back rapidly. I couldn't cry for the second time today. I had to be stronger than that.
Are you all right? Your father told me nothing happened, but you know your father.
I'm fine. I just lost my appetite.
The lasagna's done, though. And I don't want you skipping any meals. Are you sure?
Yeah. Don't worry about me, Mom. I'll come downstairs later to eat.
You're not telling me the whole story.
Well, obviously. Also, if he just hit her in the face, you could probably see that. Or that was like the weakest backhand slap of all time. I just don't want to eat right now.
Please, dear. Tell me what's going on. I wish you would tell me why you're being like this.
Because you married a maniac. I wanted to tell her. A part of me was screaming to tell her what Dad had done. At the same time, I knew she couldn't fix anything. Besides, I was moving out regardless. I remained silent, letting the event remain in the past.
Well, I'll leave your food on the table if you want to eat it later.
Finally, my mom left me alone. It was strange to think that she was only a few inches away from me, only separated by a single wooden door. I really didn't know what to do. I needed to do something, anything, to get my mind off what just happened. Really? I'd still be more shocked about the death of my grandfather, to be honest, than my father slapping me. But I guess that's probably just me? ? Anything would be better than thinking any more about the pain still radiating from my cheek. I was going to move into my grandfather's house tomorrow. I should probably pack my stuff so I would be prepared for tomorrow. Yeah, that was a good idea. I should start packing. I opened the closet, rummaging around for a while before I finally found 2 large bags. Pulling them out onto the floor of my room, I then began to empty my drawers and cabinets so that I could bring all my things with me. I didn't have much to bring, other than just clothes and some toiletries. It was kind of bizarre that I didn't have many personal belongings. It wasn't like my luggage was completely devoid of them, but I certainly didn't have many things in my room that I would miss if I just suddenly left the house. Yeah, that's true. When I moved, I did leave a lot of stuff at my parents'. Yeah, you know, a lot of stuff when I start thinking about it. I shook my head to rid myself of these thoughts. If it weren't going to be my new home, it would have to feel like it. One way or another, I was going to make it my home. Just as I was packing my things, my cell phone began ringing and vibrating in my pocket. Hopefully not with copyrighted music. I slid my phone out of my pocket and answered it while easing on myself. Who could possibly be calling?
Hey, Anderson, you there?
I swear to God, if that was copyrighted.
Is everything all right? We were worried about you, so we decided to call.
Oh yeah, it's the same day. Still strange. I don't even think you can do that. Like when you go to like a pallbearer or not a pallbearer, You know, the man who takes care... Is that an undertaker? Is that what an undertaker does? Like, probably. I don't know. Well, if you bring it to the guy who takes care of the dead after they died and so on and so on, I swear to God, you can't tell him, I want this man buried by 6 o'clock. I swear that is impossible.
Hello?
I'm really glad you guys called. My voice managed to come out, though it was only a whisper.
What happened? Are you okay?
Well, I slowly began to tell them about the funeral that afternoon. A small silence followed when I was done recounting what happened, and to my relief, Naomi finally spoke up.
I can't begin to imagine how you must be feeling right now. I'm so sorry. Do you want us to come over right now?
Yeah, sure. Meet my maniacal father. No, it's okay. My dad isn't in a good mood, so could we just keep talking on the phone like this?
Of course! We'd stay on the phone until the crack of dawn. Right, Suzu?
Yeah. We're always here if you need us. After all, we wouldn't be the awesome triple threat trio without you, right?
You know, these are the kind of friends you need. Oh God, my laugh. Let me do that again. Oh no. Gets worse and worse. Yeah.
Triple threat trio? That sounds like the name of a gang.
It sounds actually like a wrestling stable or match, either or.
Yeah, I mean, we're all taking on the world together. We've got to sound somewhat scary, or else no one's going to take us seriously.
What's with you and naming things?
You've got to step up your game, Naomi. Falling behind to the cool kids like Anderson and me. Tisk, tisk.
Hey! I'm a cool kid! If anything, I'd say you'd have to step up your game!
We chatted cheerfully about all sorts of things. Very soon I had forgotten about the events that day, and was engaged in a conversation about Naomi's favorite TV show, some program called Herlock. I hate Sherlock. Whoa. Whoa, I see writing you a comment there. You better stop this. I can hate whatever I want. And I'm already pretty long in, I just realized. Wow, looking at the clock. So I better stop this and give you the time to write me a hate comment, because I don't like Sherlock. So, it's I gotta say, like, this game got me emotionally very well at the grave scene. It's strange, though, that she's now totally over it, you know? Like, I think you have to take your time in grief. Not in general, well, also in general, I guess, but especially in games. Because otherwise, grieving just seems phony, you know? Especially in a visual novel where you have the perfect tools for making grieving, like, deep, because you can write it. Like, in a game, it's often more complicated, I guess, because you are limited to game visuals and possibilities, and it's not often a game. The grieving, I don't know. I don't think I can generally say that, but often games are limited to this kind of games they are, and often you don't have the time for a good grieving in a game. But of course, you have that in a visual novel, you know. So, but I guess that is a generalization. I have played many games that had good grieving moments, even though they were action-packed and stuff like that. So I guess what I said is only true to an extent. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Come back for the next part, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.